Hi friends, this is editing lane way in the future here. I did not really have an intro for this video. So to make things a little easier to digest, this is the intro. This is going to be a vlog, doing a little bit of prep and then tabling at my biggest convention of the year, Galaxycon Raleigh. We're gonna jump right in with some display stuff, so let's get into it. Okay, so I have all of the panels up. I need to make a new panel for that. Since these are seasonal and it is midsummer, I'm gonna swap these out. The other part I'm swapping out since they don't really sell that well. And I will be swapping them out for these. These are all available like on my online shop, by the way. And there it is with all of the current swaps. Now to just do this with pretty much everything. What? 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 I'm right here. So this is what the panels currently look like. I think I'm happy with it. I need to get the actual quantities taken out for these 9. Then we'll be good with charms. I do of course need to swap out all of the numbers and get the old versions out of the actual like inventory. I mean, that'll be a whole pain that I'll do tomorrow probably. Right now I'm kind of just gonna go through the suitcases, grab the like miscellaneous items that I've had just kind of shoved in here. I guess I will go ahead and set this up just so I can take stock of what designs I'm low on as far as the sticky notes and sticker sheets. Plus I just kind of want to get a visual of it all. Given this is not the correct container for them, so the pricing won't be on here, but that should be okay. So here's where I'm at as far as that goes. So I did run out of one sticky note design, I believe. I can't remember which one it was. Okay, it was the digital paint one, which luckily I have restocks of, so that'll be fine. For the sticker sheets, I don't think this one sold very well. I don't think this one sold very well. I don't think this one sold very well. And luckily I had a big sticker sheet shop update last month, so I should be able to get 3 designs to fill that space. I'm starting to fill the suitcase and look at how silly they look. I'm gonna start day 1 with 12 of each. I feel like that is a decent amount. I have no clue how well they're gonna do, so obviously we'll just have to see, but I'm going to start with 12 of each, 24 total. Hi. So silly. Sleepy girl. What are you doing? What? So I need to have the new panel made and printed out. That will make it a lot easier for me to wrap up some loose ends. Okay, so here's what I have for the new panel. I did manage to get enough stickers. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I have quite a few gaps to fill as far as prints go, but luckily I do have these 2 panels from the 8-foot setup that I can pull some from, and then obviously I'll just fill in the other gaps with newer designs. I've got my boxes all tucked away because I'm done with them, and now I'm just gonna start disassembling this. The current state of my office with this having happened. I've got a majority of the stuff ready to go, packed up. The way it's literally raining again. That's like every day in a row for this week so far. Not that I'm complaining, I love the rain, but really hate storms. He's all curled up in a towel. What are you doing? Galaxycon Raleigh begins tomorrow. It runs from 2 to 8, I believe, but I am going to be leaving at 11:30 or so to go set up, since I'm not doing that today because I don't want to go downtown 5 days in a row. It's already going to be 4 days, so. Starts at 2. I will essentially have 2.5 hours to set up. Hopefully that's enough. Who knows? I'm a little bit nervous about that, like usual. Something I would really like to do is make panels of Sprout and their family to put somewhere on my table display. So I have this little sketch of Sprout. I'm going to line it and color it and see if I have time for the others. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Okay, here's the final panel. I feel like putting their names will really help get a little bit of brand recognition. And it does make me want to do the other 5, but that's like a end of the day thing if I have time. I at least have this done, so now I can go down, print it, and we can get to work. I printed out the Sprout panel and it looks so good. Okay, I have this cut out and I have the foam core cut out, and now here it is. It is a little rougher on the edges. I do need to clean it up a bit with my X-Acto, but I am so obsessed. I'm not totally sure how I'm gonna display it yet, but I think I'm just gonna tape like a pencil to the back and then tape said pencil to the very, very top of my display so that these are just, it's like a little parade of sheep at the top. Given all I have is Sprout right now, I think what I'm gonna do is set up tomorrow with maybe just Sprout, mostly to see if it'll even work with my display, because I don't want to spend, you know, 2 hours getting the rest of the Blossom family if it looks horrible. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine and I wish I could have them all, but at least I'll have it for the other 3 days and that'll be fine. And there it is, a bit more cleaned up. I'm so happy with it. I'm really hoping it doesn't get crushed in here. The like normal grid panels have done a pretty good job of not getting crushed, but they also have the plastic backing. But I'm hoping if I sandwich this in between the other ones, it should be okay. So excited to set up and like see how it looks. Toby is hogging my chair. He won't move. I have, to my knowledge, everything packed up for the convention minus my personal backpack that I'll do tonight and in the morning. I need to get like my cash box and my square reader and that kind of thing. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted, and the convention has not even started. I do not know what I am going to feel like by Sunday. I don't know how much footage I'm gonna actually be able to get at the cons, especially as I get more tired. I will probably forget to record. So if the footage is a little choppy, just know that I'm like going through it to do this. So silly. It is Thursday, July 25th. It's about 8:45 a.m. This is the first day of Galaxycon Raleigh, day 1 out of 4. I have a few things that I still need to do. We are going to be leaving in about an hour or so. I need to get my little backpack put together. I'm going to be so sad to leave my babies. It is also pouring rain outside. That'll be fun. It's almost 12 o'clock, day 1. Here's the progress so far. Gotta be done. Now to try and assemble this guy up there. I definitely want to do the rest of them, so hopefully I have time to do that tonight. And hopefully it doesn't fall down because it definitely could. But now to put together the rest of the booth. So I am nearly done setting up. I am just making some final pricing for the newer items, but so far so good, I think. The lighting in here is horrible, but I am already so exhausted. Let's do a little table tour though. So here is how the final table turned out, more or less. Obviously some things changed as the convention progressed on. My next convention after this will be Twitchcon, the first ever convention that I'm flying for. It is all the way in California, which if you don't know, I'm in North Carolina, so coast to coast. And this being a 6-foot table was a really nice practice setup since my previous 2 conventions, Tidewater and Animazement, were both 8 foot. I'm so happy with how the table turned out. And here's a little peek at what it looks like from behind. Not so much a tour, but just like a little look-see as to what I see from my end of things. A little chaotic. I'm literally so exhausted. My feet hurt so bad. Yeah, so there are 4 hours to go. My feet really hurt. It's not even super busy right now. As you can tell, not that many people roaming around. I cannot tell if this is worse or the same as last year quite yet. Probably a little worse. Hi! Good morning, Chai. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're so stupid. It is Friday, July 26th. We are on day 2 of Galaxycon Raleigh. I am just getting together my stuff. I will return if I have time. I'm in a bit of a crunch right now. I'm grabbing 10 more Sky puppy plushies. Hopefully this is enough. I'm almost out of small bags, so I brought the rest of them, and I got some more of the medium bags. I've only used like one of the large, so I'm not gonna bring any more of those, I don't think. Here is the makeup look for today. I am rocking a Lucky Charms shirt on brand. So we will be leaving literally any time now. I don't have obviously a ton of time to talk. I had a lot to do this morning, but yesterday went, I think, either as well as or a little bit better than last year's Thursday. I'm cautiously optimistic. Even if it isn't as good, you know, that's okay as long as it isn't horrible, but I'm nervous. I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of things. It's hard to keep track. Like, I know when something fully sells out, obviously, but if it hasn't fully sold out, it's hard for me to really know if I need to bring more because I don't really have time or energy to look through every single item every day to see what's low. And sometimes you can tell which items you need more of because people keep getting those items, but yesterday it was really just a variety of items. So I brought more blue plushies and I brought some pin swaps. That's really it. But let's just get into it, I guess. We're gonna be here from 10 to 8, so yippee. And it is not about to start, so. It is only 4:30. My feet hurt so bad. at him. He's stupid. I'm so tired. Lots of people. I'm very nervous that I'm gonna run out of stuff. That bag is like 30 pounds though, so I'm hoping not, but we'll see. I only have 30 minutes to reset up and restock things, so. We have 6 minutes until it starts. I'm very nervous. There are so many people outside. I'm so tired. Hopefully I survive this. See you guys on the other side. It is 4:41. I have like just over 3 hours left. I don't think it's going as good as yesterday, and normally Saturdays are the best. I think they're just being really slow letting people into the building, and people don't know where we are, and this room is small, so we'll see how things shake out. And it's time to head home now. Okay. So scared. It is Sunday, July 28th. I am grabbing restocks and then we're gonna head over. I'm so tired. I had exactly enough business cards yesterday. The last person took the last one like a minute before the con ended. So I'm bringing more of those, and I have 15 more blue plushes. This is editing lane way in the future. Here to finish off the video. I never did like a wrap up of this event, I don't think, so that's what we are going to do. Like I said at the very start, Galaxycon Raleigh is by far my biggest event of the year. This event is 4 days long, which is by convention standards pretty long. Normally they are 1 to 3 days. For the first 2 days, I kind of thought that things were slower than I remembered. I figured that this would probably end up being less profitable, less money than 2023. And it still kind of felt that way by day 4. But I'm very happy to say that this year's Galaxycon Raleigh was not only better than last year's, but since last year's was my biggest event of all time, this ended up beating that. So this is the most profit I've ever made at an event or convention. And I figured I would share some numbers with you guys so you can get like an idea. Let's start with expenses. The table cost for this year's Galaxycon Raleigh was $411. And this is pretty expensive for a convention table. I mean, obviously. But it is important to keep in mind that, you know, it's a 4-day event. This amount is, I think, discounted since I was rebooking. I believe it was more expensive if you didn't rebook during the rebook period or if you were a new vendor. But you have to keep in mind, at least for the 411, that since this is a 4-day event, you take that cost, you divide it by 4. So it's just over $100 a day, and that's pretty reasonable to me, especially with how good I do at this event. So it is a lot upfront, don't get me wrong, but I think for the amount of days you're vending, it kind of works out. The rebooking period does open like the last day of the convention, so you do pay for the table a full year in advance. So I took the profit I made this year, I paid the $411, and I'm not going to get a return on that for a full year, which is unfortunate, but like at least I know a year in advance that I am doing this event. For travel costs, I live in Raleigh, so I didn't have any hotel. That saved me a good chunk of change. All I pretty much had to pay for was gas and parking. And between those two, it ended up being $90. Not too bad, all things considered. Then we have Square fees. Square is the method I have to take credit card payments. And of course, in return for being able to take the payments, they take a little fee. That ended up being $251. Next is miscellaneous stuff. I believe this was all just food. That ended up being $37 or so. So in all, those base expenses were only $790, including the table and the parking and such. Then of course I have to pay sales tax, which is like 7.25% of each transaction that passes through me and then goes to the NC Department of Revenue. That ended up being $791. So the actual expenses, including sales tax, is like almost $1,600. Now for the income. I ended up doing $3,430 in cash, approximately. And I did $8,117 in card transactions. That gives me a total gross income of $11,546. Once you subtract those expenses and sales tax that I mentioned, that ends up with a profit of $9,963. It would have been really exciting for this to have been my first 5-figure convention. And I mean, it is if you consider the gross number, but it was so close, but didn't quite hit 5 figures of profit. So maybe next year, but obviously that is still a wild amount of money, and like it is wild to think about being able to do that in 4 days. But it is also good to keep in mind that 1, this does not include taxes. Taxes take about 30% of that number, almost a third. And it also doesn't include what I paid my helper, which is my mom, which was like just under $2,000. And it also doesn't take into account, obviously, the cost of all of the products that were sold, which is usually about 20%. So about 20% of that profit is the cost of goods that I sold. And in theory, that's the cost I would need to spend to restock said items. Obviously, that's still a lot of money. And I think it's good to note that obviously taxes takes a chunk, but also this is by far my biggest event right now. The next best event that I've ever done, other than the other Galaxycon Raleigh, of course, is still a decent amount smaller than that. So, you know, it's not like I bring this in every single event or anything. As for my thoughts on the convention as a whole, I mean, you know, there are some things that could be improved, of course, but it's my best convention by far. And I'm local and I get to read books, so I'm guaranteed in theory to get in each year. So really, I don't have many complaints. Out of all of the shows that the Galaxycon people run, this is, in my opinion, the best one, given they have added like 12 this year or something. So, you know, it's hard to say, but Galaxycon Raleigh, if you're going to do one of the Galaxycon shows, probably is your best bet. Although, because the rebook rate is so high, it's very hard to get into. So keep that in mind. But if you are around here and you get a chance to do it, I highly recommend trying it at least once. But yeah, that's it for this vlog. I know I have been away from YouTube for a hot second. I've been very busy. I did Twitchcon, which was my first ever flying convention in California, like 2 months after this. And then I had my Black Friday sale, and so I just haven't had time. If I can ever get YouTube monetized, it will be a lot easier for me to put time into this, but right now, since it isn't making me money, my other revenues kind of have to take priority. I have quite a few videos lined up though, if I can get the time to edit them, so you will be seeing more from me. But that is it for this video, for this convention vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I hope you guys have a good new year. We're about to hit 2025. I am very excited to take you guys along with me for whatever I do in this coming year.